Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 17th day of December in the year 2024. And I am honored to be joined today by Michael Melham, the mayor of Belleville, who was one of the mayors who was invited to go to a meeting last week to talk about drones, only to find out that somebody who was supposed to be there did not show up. Mayor, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about how everything went down last week when you got the invitation to attend a meeting of the mayors to talk about drones, and then how it all went.
So it was 6 days ago today. We were invited to an unprecedented meeting, and we thought it was going to be in or around the Trenton area, and all 500 plus mayors in New Jersey were invited to this meeting. Interestingly, the email was very clear. No council members, no staff, no police chiefs, no business administrators, mayors only. That's all that was allowed, was just mayors only. So we went down there, myself and Mayor Jane Russo, actually from Lyndhurst. I had consulted with some of my other mayors, Mayor Pronti in North Arlington, the mayors in Bloomfield and Nutley, just to see who was going. Because for us, it's a 3-hour round trip. It's
Right.
an hour and a half each way. So it was short notice, and we went down there really expecting, because they told us that, there was nobody else invited and, all this other stuff. We really thought we were going to get some information. So we go into the room. We do find out about an hour before that every single member of the state legislature was also invited to the same exact meeting. But for size reasons, they just split it up into two different groups.
Okay.
So we go in there, and the first thing that was noticeable was the absence of our governor. Our governor was not there. So normally you do something like this. The state wants to reach out to all mayors or what have you. You would do something centrally located. You would do it maybe in New Brunswick or something like that, Woodbridge, somewhere central. The fact that we had to go down there, we really did assume that the governor was going to be there. So the fact he was a no-show already kind of set some people off. But we did learn immediately that the state police told us that you will leave here knowing every single thing the state knows. So there was still some optimism there. We're going to learn everything. Well, it could have been a 5-minute Zoom meeting, because we learned next to nothing. We learned that they don't know what they don't know, and that they're relying on the feds for information, and nothing has really been forthcoming. So it was disappointing all around. Disappointing that our governor had probably had 200 press conferences for COVID, but yet really hasn't been front and center on this one, is not leading from the front. He's not demanding answers, or he's not getting them, even if he's asking for them. And then we left there, 4, 5, 6 hour round trip day, all in, and it was very disappointing. Several mayors even walked out of the meeting because it just wasn't worth it to us.
Yeah, just the other day, he said that you and I, as residents of New Jersey, have absolutely nothing to worry about, that this is all a big hullabaloo about nothing. If he's saying that, does that concern you, that he might know something that he just doesn't want to tell us? Like, what the hell is he doing? I don't understand.
I mean, you can't have it both ways, right?
Right.
You can't say we don't know what it is and there's nothing to be concerned about. Right. Interestingly, on a federal level, yesterday we had a briefing with the White House administration, most of the mayors here in New Jersey, and again, that meeting was even worse. That entire meeting, all we heard the entire time was, you guys are seeing things. What you're seeing is actually manned aircraft. We have absolutely no credible reports of an unknown aircraft or an unknown drone being in the area, basically telling us we were nuts. One of the mayors actually stood out and said, listen, I've had a 6-foot object hovering over my house not once but twice. We're not seeing things in New Jersey. We're demanding answers. And they just kept telling us yesterday, nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Yet the interesting part about it is today at 2 o'clock, the House Intelligence Committee is meeting for a confidential security briefing. So they're going to be briefed on something that wasn't given to us yesterday. They're going to know a little more today, more so than what the mayors knew yesterday when they told us yesterday there's nothing here. So how could there be nothing here yesterday, yet today they're assembling members of the Intelligence Committee for a confidential briefing? It's not making sense.
Yeah, it really isn't. If you're just joining us, Mayor Mike Melham is with us today, the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey. He attended this meeting with the governor the other day, and absolutely nothing came of it. But you, as a mayor, have the authority to do a lot of things that could fix this problem. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of things, but some things that could help. In North Arlington, Mayor Pronti has issued an executive order. Do you plan to follow suit with what North Arlington has done, or do you have something else in mind, perhaps, to address this?
Yeah, I've been in close contact with Mayor Pronti. Dan is a friend, and we spoke actually on Wednesday of that meeting. And what you have to understand is that when there were about 200 plus mayors that actually attended this briefing, and mayor by mayor, we stood up saying, "Do something, New Jersey. You must act. At least do a temporary executive order. No fly ban. On personal and commercial drones. Do it for 5 days. This way, if we do see something in the air at night, we'll know it's the bad guys and not the good guys, right? Because right now it is legal to fly a drone at nighttime. So I got an idea. Let's do a temporary ban. Let's down everything for 4 or 5 days. This way, anything that's left in the air, we know is a bad actor. Well, the state police and the New Jersey Homeland Security, every excuse in the book not to make that happen. So mayor after mayor stood up and saying, "We disagree with you. We want this." And they would explain why they're not going to do it. Next mayor would stand up and say, "We disagree with you. We want this." Long story short, they basically said, "Well, you guys can kind of do your own thing if you want." So myself, Mayor Pronti, were talking about that. He has a slightly different form of government there where he could actually issue an executive order. I've actually spoken with our OEM. It's something that we are considering. However, we don't really have any enforcement power, but it is a good idea. At least this way, if you do see something in your airspace, keep in mind, drones are considered, and I've learned a lot about this stuff in the past 6 days, drones are considered aircraft. And our skies are considered federal space. So that's the Bureau of the FAA. That said, I am certain if the governor really, really wanted to do a no-fly ban, he can do it. After all, who's going to sue him? The FAA? We're
Right.
trying to help them. It doesn't make any sense. So I do applaud Dan Pronti for doing that. We do ask other mayors to do it. Belleville's highly considering doing it ourselves right now. I just have to go through different channels to actually get that done.
What about you in particular in the township of Belleville? What have you seen? What have you experienced personally as mayor, as a citizen? What are you seeing with your own eyes?
So this has been going on for about 4 weeks now. And I will say I wasn't really that dialed into it for the first couple weeks.
Right.
Day before, last Tuesday, a week ago today, once we got the email about that briefing, it started to kind of get on my radar. No pun intended, I guess. And when we came back on Wednesday, it happened to be 11:30 at night. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm watching TV, and I just heard a unique sound. And I said to myself, let me go look out the window. And then it dawned on me, I've actually heard this sound a couple times over the last couple nights. I go to my window and I see what appeared to be a drone. Now, I've been around drones. I've been with people that have flown drones. I'm familiar with them and their flight path and what they look like. I swore I saw a drone. So I didn't have my phone on me. I ran to get my phone. It had already gotten further away. Got some grainy, some pretty bad video of it. But for sure, I thought I saw a drone. Then I looked out on my balcony, and this was the eeriest thing. It was as if I was in the middle of the woods and looking at a forest full of trees at nighttime, and you see like lantern flies, or you see, blinking. I saw nothing but red and green blinking lights going straight out, the horizon, if you can say it that way. That's what I saw. I know I'm not seeing things. I know I'm not crazy. The next day on Thursday, just as many. As a matter of fact, one of our Belleville police officers actually caught one on video, and he's a licensed drone operator.
Wow.
He's our main drone cop.
Okay.
He caught it, and that video has been circulating. I know CNN ran that video a little bit. So we've seen two. I will say that since Friday, Friday into Saturday. Saturday we had a nighttime event. We were outside for about 4 hours. It has seemed to tick down, but yet, with that, we're also hearing reports that sightings are increasing. They're going off into maybe Pennsylvania. So it does seem like we were a hotbed last week, Wednesday and Thursday, literally inundated and swarmed by drones. And it does seem like here locally in Belleville, it's been ticking down a little bit.
Good. On our way out here, there's a possibility that there may be a lot of people watching us today who are not from the Belleville area. Give a quick rundown about you, the township of Belleville, just in case, so people know who we're talking to today, would you?
Sure, thank you. Mayor Township of Belleville. Belleville is located right in northern New Jersey. Interestingly, we border the largest city in New Jersey, the city of Newark, that has an international airport there. Newark Liberty Airport is right here. We're also dead smack in the middle of other airspace like Teterboro Airport, close proximity to JFK and LaGuardia. So we are really concerned about our airspace here. The state police said while there's no credible threat, there is concern because if one of these drones goes up a couple hundred feet and hits an airplane, it can take it down, just like a flock of birds can take it down. And as a matter of fact, there have now been not one but two different reports. American Airlines actually had to make an emergency landing at Newark Airport last week, and a smaller plane leaving a local airport in Linden actually made a crash landing where someone was killed. So we're not quite sure exactly what put those or what brought those two planes down, but there is cause for concern with our airspace in the northern New Jersey area, right where Belleville, New Jersey is located.
Unbelievable. I guess that's maybe what it's going to take before the governor actually acts on this, is some kind of tragedy for something to be done. But
do you have anything to add in regards to what they're saying about the radioactive stuff that possibly leaked from work?
I actually, that's going absolutely crazy today. I broke that story this morning on New York Good Morning, New York, New York Good Morning, whatever Spock station I was on this morning. So what happened was I merely said that I believe that this is our government. I truly believe that. I believe that we're aware of a certain threat. And now in this modern era, when we get to that certain threat, we immediately put assets up over our critical infrastructure. The state police and everything, my conclusions that I'm drawing are based on pure facts that I've been told firsthand. So our New Jersey State Police said there are drones over our critical infrastructure. Depending on the way you look at that, it's either cause for concern or comfort. Concern if it's a foreign actor, comfort if it's our government saying, wait a minute, we're aware of some kind of a threat. Now we could deploy these things up in the sky just to look and watch over our infrastructure. I'm fine with that. Then we have other drones that seem to be patrolling in a grid-like pattern. I believe, again, speculation, I believe that they're looking for something, or we would say sniffing for something. So that said, I then speculated that potentially we were aware of maybe something coming in through Port Newark, maybe a dirty bomb or a suitcase nuke, and it's on the move, and that's why we're seeing these things trying to track. And I understand our government doesn't want to let our adversaries know that we have capabilities of doing this. It's all totally fine. Once I started saying that, then I started getting reports about different radioactive material. I didn't believe anything I saw. One was on one of these gaslighting UK media outlets. I said, no, let me Google it myself. And I found the press release. It was a notice issued from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission that on December 2nd here in New Jersey, a shipment was being shipped from a medical facility. Either it was out for repair or something that does contain radioactive material. And when that shipment landed at its destination, the container was damaged and it was empty. That is a fact. That is coming from our U.S. government. They are saying that we had to put a notice out saying that radioactive material. Now, I'm not saying that we're looking for that, because if you dig deeper into that story, the threat level on that was kind of minimal. I'm not saying that we're looking for that in particular. I'm saying something like that is happening.
And it's odd that there's a whole bunch of them at night. Are they using an infrared trying to find something that's on the ground? I mean,
heat, yeah, you would think they're looking for heat. I will say, again, pure fact, because I got told this from our state police, these drones are not emitting a radio frequency. So you would need a radio frequency in order to jam them or to down them, and we can't do that. New Jersey doesn't possess the ability to actually do that. And again, do I think that our level, highest levels of government, our DOD, has drones that can't be down that way? Sure, they're probably ours. You can't tell me that if 12 drones hovered over MetLife Stadium at 1 o'clock during the Giant game and started to descend into the stadium, we wouldn't be able to knock them out of the air.
Mayor, you are not standing by, and we can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today and for being in the forefront of this and for doing simply the truth and what is right. So thank you very much for joining us today, and hope to do this again sometime.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mayor.